If you're already afraid of the ocean, don't watch this video. It will only intensify your fear and might even cause trauma. On the other hand, if you love the sea, this video could make you think twice about venturing into the water again. We'll be sharing stories of how sharks cause not just physical harm, but also emotional distress to those who explore the sea. The Garcia family had been looking forward to vacationing for months. Sam, Tracy, and their 3 children, Brown, Martin, and Isla, had saved up and planned meticulously for their trip to Hawaii. It wasn't just about relaxation. It was about creating memories, escaping the rush of daily life, and experiencing something extraordinary together. They had chosen Hawaii for its famed coral reefs and crystal-clear waters, ideal for snorkeling. Sam, an avid diver in his youth, wanted to share his love for the ocean with his family. Tracy, always eager for adventure, eagerly agreed. Brown, the eldest at 17, and Martin, a typical 12-year-old full of curiosity, were thrilled at the prospect of exploring underwater worlds. Isla, the youngest at 8, was a bundle of energy, bubbling with excitement at the thought of seeing colorful fish and sea turtles she had watched in documentaries up close. The decision to take a snorkeling trip to a remote coral reef seemed like the perfect adventure. Before leaving New Jersey, the family booked a tour with a reputable local company that promised an unforgettable experience away from the usual tourist spots. The day they landed in Hawaii, they were offered little to no adventure, mainly because they arrived late in the evening. Their tour guide helped them settle in a hotel and promised to come back the next day to kick off a memorable vacation. The adventure kicked off in full gear as they explored several areas on the island, tasting various dishes and local delicacies. On the 4th day, they were presented with the opportunity to dive in one of Hawaii's beaches. As they sailed away from the shore, Sam felt a sense of contentment seeing his family so happy. Tracy snapped photos, Brown eagerly chatted with the guide about marine life, while Isla bounced around, asking a million questions about everything she saw. Arriving at the reef, they donned their snorkeling gear and slipped into the water. It was like entering another world, tranquil and mesmerizing. Schools of fish darted around them. Vibrant corals swayed gently with the current, and rays of sunlight filtered down, illuminating the underwater landscape in a surreal glow. For the next hour, they swam together, marveling at the beauty beneath the surface. Sam kept a close eye on Isla, gently guiding her along and pointing out different fish and corals. Tracy and Brown ventured a little farther, exploring nooks and crannies of the reef, while Martin, entranced by a sea turtle he spotted, followed it at a respectful distance. But then, as they rounded a corner of the reef, the tranquil scene shattered. A shadow swept over the coral bed, casting a sudden darkness. At first, Sam thought it was a trick of light, but then he saw it, an oversized silhouette gliding effortlessly through the water. It was a tiger shark, unmistakable with its distinct markings and powerful presence. Fear clenched Sam's heart as he remembered tales of these apex predators. He knew they frequented these waters, drawn by the abundance of marine life. Frantically, he motioned to his family. Tracy, sensing his urgency, quickly gathered the children close. Brown's eyes widened in disbelief as he saw the shark approaching, its movements sleek and predatory. Martin, catching sight of the shark, froze in place, his earlier excitement turning to sheer terror. Isla, sensing the tension, clung to Sam, her eyes wide with fear. The guide, sensing the danger, blew a sharp blast on his whistle, signaling everyone to return to the boat immediately. But the ship seemed impossibly far away now. Panic threatened to overwhelm them as they realized they were trapped in the shark's hunting grounds. With trembling hands, they began to swim back, every stroke fueled by sheer terror. The shark, sensing their movements, began to circle closer. Its presence seemed to fill the water around them, its sleek form cutting through the waves with deadly grace. Sam urged his family onward, his voice urgent yet steady. Tracy held Isla tightly, whispering words of reassurance despite her rising fear. Brown and Martin swam with all their strength, their minds racing with thoughts of survival. The minutes stretched into eternity as they fought their way back to the boat. The shark, sensing their desperation, became bolder, its movements more purposeful. Sam could feel its presence behind them, a relentless force driving them forward. Just as they neared the boat, disaster struck. Martin, exhausted and overwhelmed, faltered in his strokes. His mask slipped and he gasped for air, momentarily losing sight of the others. Panic seized Sam as he saw Martin struggling, vulnerable in the water. He called out to him, his voice raw with fear and desperation. Tracy, hearing Sam's cry, turned back, her heart pounding in her chest. With a surge of adrenaline, she swam back to Martin, her maternal instincts overriding her terror. She reached him just as the shark closed in, its jaws snapping dangerously close. In a heartbeat decision, Tracy pushed Martin toward Sam and Isla, shouting for them to keep moving. With a fierce determination, she turned to face the shark, her body trembling with fear, but her mind focused on protecting her family. The shark, sensing an easier target, turned towards Tracy, its eyes fixed on her. With every ounce of strength, Tracy kicked and thrashed, creating a barrier between the shark and her family. Sam, seeing Tracy's bravery, felt a surge of gratitude and fear. He reached the boat with Brown and Isla, pulling them aboard with trembling hands. Isla clung to him, tears streaming down her face as she watched her mother bravely face the shark without any weapon. The guide, seeing Tracy's predicament, grabbed a pole from the boat and dove into the water. With swift, practiced movements, he jabbed at the shark, diverting its attention away from Tracy. The shark, startled by the sudden assault, veered away, disappearing into the depths. Tracy, her strength fading, swam back to the boat, her heart pounding with relief and exhaustion. Sam pulled her aboard, holding her tightly as they collapsed in a tangle of limbs and tears. As they sailed back to shore, the adrenaline slowly ebbed away, leaving them shaken but alive. They huddled together, clinging to each other as if their lives depended on it, because at that moment they knew it did. The rest of their vacation passed in a blur of quiet reflection and a renewed appreciation for each other. They returned home with a newfound closeness, forever marked by their harrowing encounter with the shark and Tracy's unyielding courage. As they settled back into their daily lives, they carried with them a shared story of survival.